Alright, welcome back to my semifinals game of GPP. I'm playing Naya Ramp against Purple, who's on Blue-Red Tempo, and I've already faced them earlier in the tournament during the Swiss. They won 2-1, so this will be the grudge match. Hopefully I can win this one. And they're on the play, right, due to seeds. So not great for me. Oh, okay. So turn 1 Seeker, turn 2 nothing. On one hand, I want to keep this hand because it has the potential to be really good, but is it too slow? Like, is turn 1 Seeker a good enough play? That's really the main question here. Because I won't get ramp until turn 3, and they get counter spells up if that happens. But on the other hand, I have a bunch of 3 drops. You know what, I'm gonna take a risk and keep this hand. I might be wrong, but, you know, might as well see what happens. So let's see. Are they going to keep a Cosmic Cinco on turn 1? So the ideal play from them is Ragavan, because Seeker is such a good answer to Ragavan. And seeing as they fetched an untapped land, it's pretty likely that, yeah, that right. So it turns out keeping Seeker was a really good decision on my part. Tributes off the top. Not very useful right now. But anyways, I'm super happy to play out Seeker turn 1, because that basically turns off all their Ragavan attacks. Since it's a 2-1 and this one blocks super well. If it blocks Ragavan, then I even get to ramp up. So their best answer to this card would be Crest. But if they're gonna waste a Crest on the 1-drop, then I'm very happy with that. So what happens if they they main phase a Crest and they attack through, Ragavan makes a tap treasure token, and they're tapped out. So okay, they're attacked. Okay, sure, I'm gonna trade here. Like they're just letting me have it. Okay, sure. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'll fetch a Plains in case I don't draw another white source. I'd rather not grab off-color basics, but and they don't have a second land, huh? Why did they keep that hand then? Like, they kept 7, right? They have a second Ragavan. All right. The tarot of this guy is what I want to play if I want to ramp super hard. Endless Helpless Souls might get me a blocker for Ragavan. So what matters more in this matchup? Mana or the board? I think mana does matter more. Like, once I tire over this guy, I have 5 mana, 6 mana next turn, then I get to go Higgins plus EHS, or I even get Children's Active, which would be really good. So yeah, I just tower here. Like, they're tapped out here, so I'm extremely happy about that. I play tower over this guy, grab Little Pig. Little Pig goes on the adventure, and I don't do anything else this turn. But yeah, I mean, I got Little Pig to go on the adventure, and it seems like Purple's final guy out of their mana screw. I mean, Ragavan also makes them a treasure, so it helps them go for their other mana screw. They pass the turn with 2 mana up, so it's either a Cosmic Cinco or a Portal Fracture, right? They have no hard counters right now. You see, main board, they have 0 hard counters. So no matter what I do, I can resolve. I can resolve whatever I do as long as I don't pay too much for it. Anyways, I'm going to, well, how much does life matter? I think I play Forest, because I do want untapped lands right now. So what I do here is I play Higgins, and then I pass the turn. And if they want the Children, and then I hold up Children of the Clouds for 5. If they tap out, I play Children of the Clouds, and they're extremely sad. If they don't tap out, then, I mean, I just get to hold up Children of the Clouds for a turn. Yeah, if they don't tap out, then I just end up turning Children of the Clouds. If they counter that, like, if they try to answer Higgins, I just get to slam Children of the Clouds. What's the bad? There is a bad scenario out of this. Like, if I play Higgins, they try to Portal Factor it, then I have to pay 2. Then I only have 1 mana to use with Higgins. Alright, yeah, I should like wait until I have more mana before I play Higgins so I can play around a cost-based counter on this guy, because cost-based counters are a good answer to Higgins, because it's basically it costs twice as much to pay for Higgins, or pay for Portal Factor on Higgins, because I'm losing the extra mana. Anyways, I'm gonna start with the EHS and see what my opponent does against this. You let it happen? Okay, sure. 2, 3, 4, 5. Well then, that's extremely convenient. So so these guys go to yard, and Ramsey comes into play, Primary Surgeons goes to hand. Are they going to let Ramsey resolve? Can I resolve? Okay, that's good. Oh, I just realized I tapped out of my basics. I guess that's a bit of a sequence. Oh, they disconcede. Alright, that's a good turn. Game 1. Yeah, it seems like they just didn't get a good draw that game. They missed a land drop, which let me get tired of this guy without any counters up. But anyways, post board, I did a bit more thinking off camera after the first game, so I'm more prepared about how to board now. And Sackville is also really good. So first of all, Ramsey's come out, because as much as Ramsey was good there, I think it's actually not great in this matchup. Okay, Trimarana definitely comes out because there's no targets, and now cut a Little Pig because this is a fast matchup. Is Summit Guardian good in this matchup? I'm actually not sure. I said I did some thinking about this matchup beforehand, but turns out I'm still a bit indecisive. I mean, well, no, Bessie's Brew is great, so do I do it like this? Like, Children is great because it's instant speed, it's hard for them to answer. EHS is probably pretty decent. I mean, I'm boarding up a bit, so EHS is slightly less good because there's less targets. Is that the logic I used to cut this card? Maybe. Yeah. No, EHS can fetch Solar Flare, and that's really good. So yeah, I'll go with this I'll go with this setup. So let's see. What do I get? That's a mulligan, right? Like, it's way too slow, right? No, it's not. It's really bad if EHS gets countered, but I'm on a draw, so maybe I draw into something good. But I basically only have 2 cards to play with. I'll mulligan. And this hand is basically the same thing, but I guess I'm forced to keep this because I don't want to go any lower. I mean, this is still a playable hand, and I think I bought him a basic. I want to like preserve life a bit, so I should just buy him something that hurts me. And they get hands in. Okay, so basically means that fetch lands won't be fetching. I kind of wish I kept that New Divide. Or no, New Divide. Yeah, there's no difference. Anyways, I play Amber Hills tapped. They're gonna Panya me. Oh, is this one of those games where you get turn 1 Panya into turn 2 Teamer Falconeer and then just win the game on the spot because I have no answers to that? Apparently not. Okay, so at least I don't have to worry about that line. But yeah, Teamer Falconeer. Is that what that card's called? Okay, they Omnis Discovery. And they mill some cards, okay. But I'm glad that they have a slow start this game, because if they did drop their turn 2, it is Teamer Falconeer, I'm just bad at spelling, okay. But yeah, if they dropped turn 2 Teamer Falconeer, then I would have been screwed, because I have no answers in hand. Back Bowl, interesting. Okay, so I think I definitely Twisted Masterwork here for some mana. Amber Hills is probably fetching off color, and the Twisted Masterwork is fetching the other off color basic. It seems like white is in greater demand right now, so I'll Twisted Masterwork for planes and sack this for, I guess, some red source. Yeah, sure. No, I have Sackbow. I should. Sackbow means I really shouldn't be fetching off color basics right now. I just drop Sackbow actually. Like, if I drop Sackbow, they have 1 turn to deal with it before it grows out of range, which means I probably should like drop Sackbow when I actually have enough mana up to grow out of the range of a single bolt. But yeah, in that case, I'll fetch Flourishing Crevasse and Twisted Masterwork for where's this guy? Secret of Touch Beauty, which grabs me a tapped planes, and I pass. Hopefully they didn't draw a Teamer Falconeer off the Omnis Discovery. Are the cards that are bad for me for them to draw off Omnis Discovery would be Cane Dance. Oh, yeah, they don't have Teamer Falconeer. Good. I guess they're just keeping up counter spells this turn. Fortunately for me, Prime Resurgence. That's nice. So I have 2 options this turn. I mean, I'm definitely going Prime Resurgence because it's free, since it pays for itself. And then the question is, what do I do after the Prime Resurgence? Because no matter what I do, it's going to get countered. Like, I can't pay for Portal Fracture unless I play Sackbow. I mean, Sackbow pay for Portal Fracture. Oh, they have Okay, they have Cosmic Synchro. Good to know. But, like, I'm definitely running something into a counter spell. If I'm gonna run something into a counter spell, do I run EHS or Sackbow into it? Alternatively, no, I can't do anything super funny. Okay, so Prime Resurgence on the forest, tap the plains, play Endless Helpless Souls get countered. Is that a good line? Yes, because if I play Sackbow, I'm just wasting a bunch of extra mana. Mana that I could have used to pay for any other counter spell. So yeah, get a Cosmic Synchro out their hand first, and then worry about what else they want to do. Actually, they can Cosmic Synchro me here to make me tap out, and then I don't get the extra mana off Prime Resurgence this turn until I resolve. I mean, it is a play that they could have made, but like, I don't think it's a very good play, and I think they also think the same thing. Anyways, show me the Cosmic Synchro. Spell Pierce. Maybe I should have Sackbowed. Well, anyways, they get to nullify my play for the turn. The next turn, I'm dropping Sackbow, and I'm probably gonna activate it twice. Yeah, I only get to activate it twice. I mean, it becomes a 4/4, which is hard for them to deal with a single card, because, again, they max out at 3 damage per card. Amber Hills. Okay, that's nice. So that gets me closer to Children of Clouds. And also, it's another thing that I can use Sackbow on. So for now, I'm going to play Amber Hills untapped. This is probably fetching Lumbering Hillock. And, yeah. Sackbow. You counter. They can't Cosmic Synchro it, actually. If they Cosmic Synchro it, they tap me out, except for Amber Hills, which means that Sackbow can die to a single burn spell. Oh, they let it resolve. Okay, sure. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I still can't Children of Clouds because I don't have 6 or more lands. Although if they drop another creature, then suddenly I can't Children of Clouds because I have 2 non-white creatures. Anyways, I'm just gonna pass the turn and keep up mana, or keep up sackable activations, because I don't want to activate sackable and then have them suddenly try to bolt it. They do get to, if they have another land, then they get to activate Panya Tail, which is kind of scary. Or no, it's like, it's not too scary, or at least for Panya Tail, because they don't have anything else on board, so it just becomes this 5-mana Explore plus an extra combat step. Except this game becomes a 5/5 during those combat steps, so I mean it's a 5-mana Explore plus Lava Axe, which sounds really good now if I explain it like that. But that's just Panya being a good card. They're gonna whack me with Panya. I assume they have their 5th land in hand. If they don't have their 5th land, then that's extremely unfortunate for them. I mean, the fact that they're thinking so hard probably means that they don't have their 5th land. Because if they had their 5th land, like, activating Panya is kind of free. So they definitely would have activated Panya by now. Okay, they do have their 5th land. And now suddenly I'm in a lot more trouble, because, yeah, they get to take an extra turn. And now I have to untap and do something against that. I mean, if they drop another creature, like, I get to untap and hold up Children of Clouds. Or if I draw another land, that also works. Yeah, I have to, like, actually say K to that, because I have mana up, even though I probably won't activate Sackbow in response to anything. But, like, oh yeah, I have Twisted Masterwork, so yes, I could have played an instant speed spell in response to purple tapping out. If I had Twisted Masterwork, I would have been able to punish them super hard here, because I fetch out Betsy's Brood, kill Panya. Well, I wouldn't be punishing them super hard, because I mean, they managed to get me to waste Twisted Masterwork on a Betsy's Brood instead of the Tyrant Tributes that I could have fetched out later. But yeah, they get to whack me down to 9, so if they have 3 burn spells in hand, they got me. Oh, Team Up, that's a problem. But that's also a cloud with a silver lining, because now there's 2 creatures. In fact, there's 3 creatures, so certain clouds will be extra spicy. Which children's now? Yeah, it's just playing into counter spells, right? I'm gonna take. And Teamer Falconeer gets to get their combat damage trigger. Yeah, Teamer Falconeer is a really good card in this deck. Okay, sure. Anyways, I'm going to start activating Sack Bowl and stuff. And they just let it happen, so I'm pretty happy about that. I'm going to sack. They have no way to kill Sack Bowl unless they waste 2 burn spells on it, in which case Sack Bowl has more than done its job, so yes, I will fetch Amber Hills. Or I always use Amber Hills to fetch Lumbering Hillock right now. And then I will tap out with Sack Bowl to eat the Amber Hills. Yeah, sure. You have a response to this? Like, if you have Crest or something, you can use it right now, which taps you down to 1 mana, which means I can safely throw it into clouds. So let it happen. Okay, good. And now Sack Bowl's a 5/5, and that's looking pretty threatening to them. At least I think it is. One Twisted Masterwork. Alright, even more tricky things I can do at instant speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 mana. What can I do with that? I can Twisted Masterwork for a 5-drop, which is Earthbreaker Behemoth, but that dies a counter spell, so I do not want to do that. I could just use Children of Clouds as a way to kill their flyers. That might actually be like what, Children's for 2, kill both their flyers, and then hold up Twisted Masterwork for Ramsey. Did I kill all my Ramseys? Damn it, I did. Okay, that's a problem. Is there anything I can Twisted Masterwork for that ramps me? I guess that's why you keep in 1 copy of Ramsey. Well, alternatively, I can Twisted Masterwork now for Betsy's Brood, pointing it at the Team and Falconeer. The problem is that if they have a single burn spell, then that's a horrible play and get blown out, so I don't want to do that. Anyways, I definitely attack here. Let's see if they will chump. Okay, yeah, they chumped in order to trigger Ominous Discovery. I mean, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you take your Ominous Discovery. So if they attack with Panya, I get to Children's for 1 and block it. That doesn't seem great. Anyways, let's see if they do anything end of turn, because if they do tap out end of turn, then I get to slam Children of the Clouds, and that's really good for me. I mean, I don't get to Children all the way. I only get to Children for 3 if I want to play around counter spells. Is this Panya number 2? Alright, I mean, it happens. I can't do anything to prevent it, so yes, I will let it happen. Is there any point in killing it now rather than later? Yeah, I'll let it happen. So if they attack, I'm going to play Children of Clouds and try to kill the Panya. They're definitely going to have answers to that, but that's fine. And then I end up turn Twisted Masterwork, fetch out Higgins, and slam Tyrant Tributes. They don't have any hard counters in the deck, right? Well, they have Build Pandemonium, but that thing doesn't hit creatures. So yes, Tyrant is a pretty safe play, because Tyrant with a bunch of mana is a pretty safe play. Still, yeah, that thing only hits non-creatures. And I mean, yeah, fetching out Higgins is good for me because, alright, they're gonna attack with Panya. Do I really go for my Children's for 1 play? Well, how bad is it if this play doesn't work out? So I Children's for 1, trade with Panya, I play Twisted Master, it gets Spell Pierced. That's extremely bad for me. That means I probably should children's for a tiny bit more than usual. Well, the thing is if I children's, then that means they have to tap out to counter it, or tap out somewhat to counter it. I think I still should play around a single spell pierce. In that case, I children's for 3. That seems like that seems logical. So I'll play children's for x equals 3 and see if they have 2 cosmic sinkholes, or I mean 2 counter spells. I guess this play also loses the cosmic sinkhole. I mean, either ways, oh yeah, this leaves up some mana for Sack Bowl in case they have Cane Dancer, which doesn't actually help me here, so, yeah. I mean, doing it like this does force them to think. Do they want the extra turn, or do they want to save their Panya? Or, I mean, getting the extra turn does mean saving their Panya, so they're basically, those two things are basically equivalent. Spell Pierce? Well, I mean, it gets Spell Pierce out of their hand. Spell Pierce plus Portal Fracture. I mean, I'm fine with trade. Yeah, I'm fine with its line, or with this outcome, because I get to trade 1 card for 2 counter spells. So maybe they're running out of counter spells now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm still pretty far away from slamming Torrent though. So they probably don't have another Cosmic Sinkhole now, or another counter spell. So I can probably Twisted Masswork, kill the Temur Falconeer. The Temur Falconeer is super scary. No, they're kind of outflyers right now. I'm just gonna kill the Panya with. I'm gonna Twisted Masswork for Earthbreaker Behemoth and kill the Panya. That's what I'm gonna do. And I still have enough mana up to keep up a Sack Bowl activation in case they have Cane Dancer. Let's see, Tower of this guy. Interesting. That'll be useful later on in case stuff doesn't work out. So I always attack first. They're probably not going to block. And then I fetch out Earthbreaker Behemoth, point it into Panya. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, I'm still stuck at 6 mana. Alright, so if they have Cane Dancer, then they got me, which is extremely bad for me. Is there any... I can Twisted Masswork for Bessie's Brood, which will let me Sack Bowl in case I have Cane Dancer. Problem is that now it dies to removal spell. I think fetching out Bessie's Brood is still safer in the long run, so I should do that. So attack with Sack Bowl, fetch out Bessie's Brood, point it at Panya, kill the Panya, and then pass the turn. Yeah, that's not great. Well, I mean, I still have 2 Sack Bowl activations, so I can just use the Sack Bowl activations on the graveyard to start getting cards out of there. Anyways, I'm assuming you don't block here. I just realized that Twisted Masswork for Bessie's Brood is a lot worse than I thought, because Bessie's Brood becomes a 2/2, which means it no longer blocks Temur Falconeer. So that means I will have to take a Temur Falconeer hit if they do decide to jump. Okay, sure. But yeah, I do have to take a Temur Falconeer hit if they attack with it. Am I fine with that outcome? I think so. Alternatively, I tower for Bessie's Brood. That means I can't tower for Little Pig. Would I rather tower for Little Pig? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what, Twisted Masswork lets me play around Portal Fracture better than Tower of this guy. I still feel like Twisted Masswork is valuable somewhat. Also, attacking with Sack Bowl here might have been a mistake, because if I left Sack Bowl back, they can't attack with Temur Falconeer, so they're forced to attack with Panya. I can just let Panya through, and then once they try to Panya Tail, I can just kill the Panya, but they still get the extra turn, so no, it's not it's not good for me. Alright, so Tower or Twisted Masswork. What are the chances they have a second it's way too risky to assume they don't have a counter spell, so I should just Twisted Masswork for x equals 3. There, think about it. Well, actually, doing this also represents Higgins, which means I tapped wrong, because I should have left the planes untapped in order to represent Children of Clouds. Because like doing this kind of telegraphs that I don't have a second Children, so I'm definitely not fetching Higgins right now. So let it happen. Alright, do they have a burn spell in hand? Because that'd be really bad for me. Like, extremely bad for me, in fact. Let's see if they have it. Okay. Yeah, that was what I was afraid of. That means I should have grabbed Earthbreaker Behemoth, I guess. Alright, that did not work out at all. I mean, Sack Bowl will keep me alive for a turn, but they get to just swing in with all their guys twice, and I don't think I can come back from that. And what was the actual play there? Was I just playing around a Ghost? Like, surely they have Cane Dancer in hand, right? Maybe it was obvious that they didn't have Cane Dancer in hand because they would have used it earlier or something. I don't know. But yeah, maybe I should have Masterworked for Earthbreaker Behemoth. Like, if that worked out, then kill Panya, and then what? Okay, so now at least I can gain 6 life. Does that let me survive 5, 8, 9? Yes, it lets me survive on 1 life, which is not great, but maybe it's enough to get there. I mean, definitely not, but I can hope. I did board in solar flares, right? Like, yeah, I did board in solar flares. So if I top deck enough solar flares, maybe I get there. Second Team of Falconeer is not making that look easy though. All right, one, yeah, I can just barely survive by doing this. Going down to 1. So the funny thing here is, even if I boarded in Shepherd of Nowhere, top decking it won't save me here because, I mean, for 1, I don't have enough mana, but 2, they have a bird in play, like a token in play, so Shepherd of Nowhere doesn't wipe that thing. Anyways, I'll just die on my own terms, and yeah. So that was interesting. I'm putting Warm Ramsey back in because I do want a 2-drop that I can use as ramp. Do I cut Silent Flourishing now? Silent would be decent, I think, just to get past the chump blocker, so I'll keep it in as 1 copy. I'll board out EHS, right? That's usually the card I board out when I can't think of what to board out because I don't like how high rolly that card is. Yeah, seems like it. Seems like that's what I'll be going with. But at least this time I'll be on the play, so maybe I get turn 1 Prime Resurgence. Oh, this is not great. I mean, I have turn 1 Low Pig into turn 2 Solar Flare into hopefully I draw some lands because otherwise I can't do anything. Okay, no, I'm not keeping this, right? On the other hand, like Little Pig plus Solar Flare, that's a decent starting hand. It answers a bunch of things from them. I want something faster. Okay, yeah, this is way better. And I'll bottom the New Divide, right? Because I do want to preserve some life, and yeah. Anyways, how do you like my turn 1 Prime Resurgence? 50% of the time, I always have it. Or 50% of the time, what was it saying again? I forgot. And now I get to turn 2 Twisted Masswork for Ramsey. Is that what I want to do? Oh, well, here's... So Higgins is probably going... So what I want to do is Higgins into Twisted Masswork, but that requires me to tap in and tap out, which I don't want to do. Is there like any point in keeping Twisted Masswork? The best I can get is a Sackbow with a -1/-1 counter, which is not what I want in this matchup. I mean, Sackbow is great, but I can just afford to wait on it. I think I should just drop Secret of Untouched Beauty early to start beating down early. So yeah, you can't Cosmic Sinkhole this because I have extra mana floating, which I'm not going to do anything with because my draws didn't line up super well. Oh, Panya. Okay, if they have Temur Falconeer, that's actually fine because I get to Twisted Masswork for Bessie's Brood to... oh, that doesn't kill them. Oh, crap. Yeah, if they have Temur Falconeer, I think I might be in a huge trouble right now. So let's just hope they don't have Temur Falconeer. I guess I do have enough ramp that I can like Twisted Masswork into Earthbreaker Behemoth. Well, actually, if okay, they don't have Temur Falconeer. That's wonderful. I don't have to worry about that line. Are they still stuck on lands? No way, they're stuck on lands, right? They're just thinking about which land to drop. Okay, so next turn I play Heart of the Glade. I fetch Forest and I keep a Twisted Masswork. Actually, there's no good 3-drops to fetch with Twisted Masswork. Alright, so I think I just slam Higgins due to the fact that there is no good 3-drops to fetch right now. So Higgins is a must answer, because if I untap with it, I get to Twisted Masswork for Time of Tributes and wipe their board or something. Or they could just have a counter spell, but whatever. They're gonna name 2 colors of Nebula, including green, so that they have an off color for Cosmic Sinkhole. And they're calling up Portal Factor or Cosmic Sinkhole. So is there any point in holding up mana? And the answer is no. Because either Higgins gets countered by Cosmic Sinkhole or Portal Factor, and it doesn't matter what, because I can't pay for it anyways. So that means I played Timber Range tapped. Or Timber Range might be fetching Lumbering Hillock really soon. Because I do need to do something. I do need something to do with my mana in case I don't draw into anything useful. So Timber Range untapped, fetch Forest, play Higgins, fetch Mountain, play Higgins. Yeah, that seems like the right play. Alright, do you want to trade with Secret Untouched Beauty with whatever random... Yeah, you don't. Right, so play Timber Range untapped, fetch with New Divide, get a Mountain, and let's see what happens here. I'm assuming it gets countered. Like, if Higgins eats up a counter spell, I think I'm actually pretty happy with that outcome. Will it happen? Alright. Sure, let's see what you got then. Like, I don't think they can let me untap with this thing, because it's just so threatening. So they are going to kill it. They just did nothing. Oh, that means they're on Still the Pandemonium. Well, either they're on Still a Pandemonium, or they don't think Higgins is the problem. And I very much doubt it's a second one, so I think they're just on hard Still the Pandemonium, which means it's a good time for me to fetch Lumbering Hillock, because it's a pretty good opportunity for me to just do nothing. Because I have the board advantage right now, so they have to do something to stop me. Divide, alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't want the Twisted Masswork, because that's gonna eat... that's definitely going to get Still Pandemonium. At the same time, I don't want to do nothing. What can I do? I animate Lumbering Hillock Swing and keep up Twisted Masswork for 2 in case I need to grab a Ramsey. Is that what I want to do? No, I think I should just keep up Twisted Masterwork because it prevents them from ever tapping out. And like we can't stare at each other, but I have the board, so I'm very happy with staring at each other or staring at them. Like they have to do something now, and Twisted Masterwork means that they can't ever tap below 2 mana. I guess Panya is also good as a do nothing sort of card. Also, I just realized I can't actually sack my forest or my mountain because that puts me off some colors. Okay, honest discovery, sure. The fact that Twisted Masterwork actually prevents them from tapping out for Panya, because if they ever tap out for Panya, I Twisted Masterwork for the big thing, and then they die. And Higgins is just such a scary card in this deck, because as long as it's in play, you just have to worry about Twisted Masterwork for time tributes coming down at any time and wrecking your board. If they do nothing, then I'm fine with doing nothing, too. Rhythm Clouds, like 1, 2, 3. Not there quite yet. I'm gonna play New Divide Tap because it's just something I can sack to Higgins. Anyways, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's exactly 9. So playing New Divide on tap lets me play around a single Portal Fracture. Is that worth 2 life? And what? These guys are whack. Purple's on a 2-turn clock, and I'm on. And Anya, if they ever tap out for it, kills them or lets me kill them. So Anya's never tapping out, which means they don't have much of a clock either. Which means yes, I should play New Divide untapped just as precaution. In fact, since it's, I should just fetch now so that I don't have to worry about fetching response to stuff because I hate thinking about those sorts of things. Anyways, yeah. Let's see what you do against this, because you do need to do something or else you die next turn. And I can just afford to do nothing. So if they ever get another creature on board, or tap out to get another creature onto the board, I just slam Children of the Clouds and gain like 1,000,000 life, make a 1,000,000 birds. I mean, it's not 1,000,000, but like they have no board wipes, so it basically is just 1,000,000 to them. If they just like point to removal without Higgins, I tap out my mana, and then once Higgins dies, I twist his Masterwork for a time tributes. And I don't even have to sack half my board, or I don't even have to sack any land because Higgins is dead. Okay, they're gonna trump Higgins with Panya. That's amazing for me because yeah, now I don't have to. Okay, Discovery comes off. Yeah, sure, I let it happen. Like, yeah, I just let it happen. Again, I still just get to keep up anything that I want. So they grab something off Ominous Discovery. They mail over a Cane Dancer. Interesting. Well, they had nothing good in the yard for Cane Dancer. But yeah, they probably got Portal Factor now, which means they can actually counter my stuff. So I'm just going to pass the turn. Again, I'm just going to force them to tap out first because they're the ones who have to do something. I'm just here attacking them with my superior board. Actually, something interesting that I can do is Twisted Masterwork baits out the Portal Factor, and Children of Clouds now actually no wait, the Portal Factor tokens are white, or they're all colors, which means they're white, which means they don't count for Children of Clouds. Yeah, that plan won't work. Propose at 5 lands now, so that means they can hold up 2 counter spells. If I top deck another land next turn, I think maybe what I do is I activate Lumbering Hillock and swing with everything. That forces them to have something, at least. So maybe they point a burn spell at Higgins, in which case now I get to up to 5 mana and Children of Clouds into a counter spell. That's not as good as I thought. This pass. Alright, and okay, that's the perfect draw because I do need mana right now. In fact, I need mana pretty badly. So now that lets me attack with Lumbering Hillock and still keep up 7 mana, which isn't enough to that's not enough to listen Masterwork for Time of Tributes, but that is enough to play Children of Clouds. Actually, no, I can't play Children of Clouds now because I have enough lands. Yeah, first of all, I'm just gonna see what responses they have to this attack. Because they do need to do something, otherwise they die. Alright, is this a crest? It's a Cane Dancer on a Reminiscence. Is that the best you have? I mean, sure, it happens, but like, sure, go ahead. I guess it's just Anticipate. Oh, yeah, that's not a very good draw off Reminiscence. I guess you can grab the Getaway Rider or a second Reminiscence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, actually, if purple blocks with Cane Dancer, what do I do? I can twist a Masterwork for Behemoth, like Earthbreaker Behemoth. Like they probably have a counterspell for it, but is that fine? Am I alright trading counterspells with stuff that could do lethal? I'd rather just keep up Children of Clouds, I think. Or actually, I can't tap in a way that lets me Children and Twisted Masterwork for Bessie's Brood, so I shouldn't. I don't think I want to bother doing that. I should just keep up both of these guys. And again, force my opponent to be the first one to act, because if they tap out, then I'm happy. Okay, they're gonna block here. Sure. They can go down to 1 for all care. For all I care. Anya, I see. Alright, sure, I mean, yeah, that's fine. They can't Panya, tail, and do something else in the same turn, right? 1, 2, 3, yeah. The worst they can do is Panya, tail, plus hold up spell pierce, which I can't actually play. I can't actually pay for. Alright, so I can Twisted Masterwork for Bessie's Brood, but then that doesn't play around. That doesn't play around a burn spell, which they probably have. Okay, yes, Panya tail happens. Alright, so Twisted Masterwork. I'm so headed on board that I should just Twisted Masterwork for. I can't tap out in a way that lets me do that. That's really annoying. Alright, so if they manage to get the Panya tail off, like with a counter spell or whatever, like they got me. Or I mean, not with a counter spell, but like with a burn spell. If you have exactly Void Flare here, then they don't. Okay, there we go. Sure, you get to tap again, but how do you deal with this board? Because your deck isn't that good at dealing with the board, I feel like. Although you have 7 cards in hand, so I mean, you probably have some way of dealing with all this. And then makes your Wayfarer Shrines live. This is gonna be, yeah, they're just gonna start digging. They also have Reminiscence, which I guess also helps them dig. It's just a lot of digging. Maybe they could find an answer, but they're at 1 life, so basically anything kills them now. So, alright, seems like they didn't have it. But yeah, I basically played the exact same way that I played, I think, in the previous game against Purple, except this time I got rewarded for it instead of being punished for it, because it turns out they actually did just have a bunch of answers instead of me playing around a bunch of counter spells that doesn't exist. Attack with Hillock was bad. You know what? Yeah, I agree, but I wanted to hold up Twisted Masterwork for Time of Tributes, because that prevents them from ever tapping out. Okay, yeah, fine. Well, yeah, maybe I did play it a bit too passively. But anyways, so looks like I'm making it to the finals, which means I might actually just get my 6th GP win this GP. That'd be fun. Well, anyways, see you in the finals then.